My journey here to Senegal is a true message that circumstances don't matter. Circumstances do not matter. I'm not saying that circumstances don't affect you. I'm not saying that circumstances don't end up being something that is a big deal for you in the moment, but I am saying that they just don't matter because all that matters is how you feel every minute, every second. Because how you feel is how you end up getting through that circumstance. How you feel determines if that circumstance is going to last really long, if it's going to be something that feels even more chaotic, if you're going to go down the rabbit hole of another series of lessons and harsh events. How you feel every minute and every second is what dictates your experience here on earth every minute and every second. How you feel is your perception. And my journey here is a clear indicator of what I'm saying. Hey, you guys, what's up? This is your girl, De La Soul, and today I'm going to talk about my journey here to Senegal. I'm going to talk about what the purpose of my journey was or purposes. On my way here, I was essentially robbed, not like, gunpoint by hand or anything, but I definitely had gotten thousands of dollars stolen from me by someone that I thought was my friend. And to make a really long story short, my kids and I were stranded in New York City for almost 4 months. Backing up even further from that, the way that I got into me coming here to Senegal was a channeled message. My guides told me back in about 2012, 2013 that I needed to come to Senegal. I had never heard of Senegal. I never even knew. Honestly, I know this sounds ignorant, but I did not know that Senegal was a country. I had never heard of the word Senegal. So it was really new to me. And I was strictly going off of my intuition. I gave myself 10 years. I would actually make it here in 8. And on that journey, I had met a sister who was married or marrying a Senegalese man. And to make a really long story short, they ended up stealing thousands of dollars from me and leaving my kids and I stranded in New York City. As tragic as this sounds, it was the most amazing experience and such a blessing. I would have never thought. I would have never thought that something like that conspiring would bring me such trust in myself, such joy about my journey, such confidence on my journey, and such confirmation about what I am, who I am, and what I'm here to do. And that's exactly what it did. I did obviously make it here, and I ended up taking them to court and winning all my money back, and the rest is history. I don't feel any kind of way about the couple, about the girl. I am honestly still 4 years later in complete amazement. I am in complete awe of my life and the power of how you respond to things. When everything conspired, and it was such a surprise to me because the girl and I have been friends for some years, and we really had these plans, or at least I thought, for us to come here. And I didn't initially make these plans with her. I met her on the way to me coming here. If you guys been following me for the last 10, 11 years, you know I've been talking about Senegal for just that long, literally 2013. I'm like publicly announcing that one day I'm going to be in Senegal. So I ended up meeting this girl about 2016, and yeah, it was pretty amazing because it was really a surprise. I'd never been to New York City, and we were just supposed to stop there for a little bit until our flight, went off the next week. And so she ended up dropping us off at a shelter. My kids and I have never experienced a shelter before. It was a nice shelter. It was a nice house, but it was crazy because we eat differently, and there was a curfew, and it was during the pandemic time, so it was a bunch of rules and a bunch of fear and stuff. I ended up making it from Manhattan, which is where we were, to New York City, and we stayed in the Bronx. And I'm so sad that I have no footage, but I do know that the footage that I recorded and I lost, it was so that I could tell these stories. It was because my guides know me and they know that if I got the footage, baby, I'm just going to share it and I'm not going to even talk about it. Okay. Figure out what you figure out, put the pieces together and get what you're supposed to get. But I really do believe that that footage was lost so that I could tell the story and so that I could do what I'm doing right now and speaking to you guys about my journey and about how I responded when the girl dropped us off and did all her toxic things, blocking me and sending me all these long paragraphs about how she supposedly felt, all these things that even her mother. I spoke with her mother. I spoke with her spouse. Everyone was confused. It was really shocking for us all, and I didn't respond. I didn't react to her. I didn't, not only did I not have time to do that, but I was so tunnel visioned focused on what I needed to do. I was so tunnel vision focused on the fact that I had never been this close to Senegal in my life. I was in New York City. If you look on the map, I had been in Atlanta, I had been in California, I had been in Oklahoma. I literally had gotten closer throughout the years, and now I am at the tip of this country in the US and just the ocean away. There's no more states in between us. So my perspective on everything happening so abruptly and so surprisingly, it wasn't, oh my God, look at what's happening. This is the worst thing ever. Now I'm going to da 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 da. It was, oh my God, if I look at this map, this is the closest I've ever been. I've never been this close to Senegal. I am so close and I'm almost there. And so the message that my guys really wanted me to share is trusting yourself. It's not reacting to things that look like chaos is taking place and like you don't know what's going to happen and like what if you don't make it. You really don't have a choice but to trust yourself because you don't know what's happening next anyway. You don't know. So you trying to figure things out and predict what's going to happen and align things to where you're avoiding certain things, all that you're doing is creating resistance. And on my journey here, throughout everything, I mean, the girl was going live and talking about me, and she was making posts about me all the time that I wasn't even aware of. People were telling me about it. And the whole time, I am enjoying what I have. I'm in this Bronx apartment. I'm meeting people. My children are learning Taekwondo from a Senegalese teacher. It just so happens that we're walking down the street and we run into a Senegalese Taekwondo instructor who not only is so excited about the fact that we are on our way to his country. We don't know what day, but we know what's happening soon. This man damn near gave me the offer to teach the kids for free. I mean, I still had to pay a couple hundred, but it would have been way more had it not been in alignment. It would have been the actual price. He ended up giving me like half off. This is 4 children in a Taekwondo suit. Like those suits are expensive. Like all of these kind of things were happening. I had people like walking up to me. One day, this lady on the subway just came up to me and just handed me $60. She's just like, your family is beautiful. You're doing an amazing job. I want to give you this $60. I needed that $60. Okay. I had another day where I ended up creating $500 in my bank account the next day. I posted about this. I literally sat and went to sleep with the idea that I would have $500 in my bank account the next morning. And the next morning I had $500 in my bank account. Okay. I can show you the receipts. It literally said that I got a deposit in my bank account from my Cash App, which was my business name at the time. It literally said, you sent you $500. I'm on the phone with the bank. Like, what the hell is going on? Because I was just in so much amazement of all the alignments and the synchronicities that was taking place. And it took me about a year of us living here for me to really sit back and go through all the introspection of what went on. And I said, dang, like, I really realized that your energy, your frequency creates your next experiences. How you respond to things, which is your frequency, creates your next experiences. So the way that so many things you ask, I can sit in front of this camera and tell y'all so many stories about alignments happening on the way here, on my journey here, and how it looked like I wasn't going to make it. It looked like, well, they said no, but it was literally as soon as something shut down, another thing it's not even that another thing opens afterwards. Another thing was already open for me. And I truly believe that that is because of the way that I reacted and my perception on what was happening. I didn't feel guilty. I didn't feel shame. I didn't feel like a victim of what this person was doing. All that I was focusing on is what I wanted and the excitement of me getting it. And I truly believe that my message that I am supposed to carry from that journey of me coming here is that it is staying on the frequency of what you desire. It doesn't matter if things don't go how you planned it or what you envisioned. Plans are meant to change. Plans are meant to not work out as they planned. And so you have to make sure that you're responding in a way where not only are you trusting the process, but does the process know that you're trusting it? How does the process know that you're trusting it if every time something happens that you didn't plan, you panic? You lose your mind and you over exaggerate. You're so dramatic about it. How does the process know that you are trusting it if in the moment where you're tested for the trust, you're losing it? You're not actually trusting the process. And you guys have seen me talk a lot about how we think that we're trusting the process, but we're really not. We're just saying that we are, and we're just really strong, so we're able to get through things. But I'm talking about going through chaos, going through what you would probably say is the worst thing in the moment, and you're making the best of it. You're finding the beauty in it. When you do this, guys, I cannot stress, when you do this in your time of fear and of confusion, you change it. It changes for you. It almost feels like it changes overnight because you really do have a choice on how you feel. And how you feel is the only thing that matters. My journey here is a real testament to the power of keeping your eyes on the prize. If I don't get a message more in the past few weeks than ever, it is about keeping your eyes on the prize, guys. With all the distractions going on in the world, with all of these things that are happening that seem so upside down, and a lot of things literally are, keep your eyes on the prize. What are you here to do? What is your purpose? Over these next 12 weeks that we have left in this year, how do you want to end this year and how do you want to go into next year? What are some of your new ideas and endeavors and business ventures? Or maybe you want to enroll in school, or maybe you want to start a YouTube channel, or maybe you're trying to start that business, or maybe you're trying to stop that business to go into something else. Focus on that. Focus on that, because your eyes staying on the prize is what's going to get you to the level that you are meant to go. The things that you're asking for, that partner that you're asking for, that lifestyle, that environment, that income. Keeping your eyes on the prize no matter what's happening. When this girl had set me up and was trying to literally stop me, I'm not even hearing her. She's unblocking me to text me stuff and blocking me back so that I don't get any closure and I don't get to ask her, like, what happened? Like, what's going on? And I had to let that go. I had to let that go. You don't need closure. You don't need any more information. You don't need evidence. What you need to do is focus on you. You need to tunnel vision and focus on what you want all the time. If it's a frequency that you don't want, and you gotta pay attention, ask your inner dialogue. Does this feel good to me? Does this energy and what I'm, when I'm reading this text message, or when I'm scrolling through social media, when I'm speaking to this person, is it bringing me joy and excitement? Is it helping me get closer to what I desire? Or is it making me feel stagnant? Is it making me feel like I just want to sit and just uselessly scroll through social media? Or like I want to cry? Or is it giving me anxiety and fear? Am I becoming paranoid? These are the things that, if you think about, are really simple for us to discern and decipher on which level you want to be on. And we're in a time right now where the chaos that you guys are seeing, all the truths that are coming out, they're happening because we are here to make a decision. This time that we're in right now, over these next 2 to 3 years, is to make a decision on what scale do you want to be on. Some of us are going to continue to live through this template of being the victim, of feeling like things are always happening to us. If it ain't one thing, it's another. I take 2 steps forward and I take 10 steps back. all these different notions and ideas that we tell ourselves. A lot of you guys are going to be staying in the loop of that, and that's going to be your reality until the day you die. That's it. I'm just going to give it to you straight. Or a lot of you guys might even continue with that notion and that idea that you're telling yourself that these things are real, and maybe you will come to a newfound awakening on this a few years later. But most of you who are going to go into these next 3 or so years with that kind of mindset, you're going to stay there forever because it's a decision. Earth is splitting, not physically, but consciously, mentally, emotionally. You guys have seen me talk about the earth split. And so this is the time for us to make those decisions. If you are deciding that you are no longer going to keep reacting the way that you have in the past when things don't go your way, when surprises happen, when you have decided, if you have decided, or if you are deciding to take some breaks from social media, to take some breaks from those people that don't serve you, to not take everything so deeply and so personal and so serious. If you are deciding that you're going to wake up every day and go to sleep every night feeling love, feeling joy, focused on what you do have and ignoring what you don't, letting go of what you don't. If you are deciding that you are going to tell the story of your life differently, if you are going to start to tell the story about the trauma from your mother or your father and what you experienced, your sexual trauma and all these things, if you are deciding to tell this story in a different way, where you are not the victim who was meant to suffer, who was meant to go through all of these years of turmoil and chaos, and that just be what it is. And now you have to expel it out onto your children. And now because of that, you have this. And if you're not giving yourself these labels of ADHD and being neurodivergent and all these labels and these constructs and these things, if you're deciding to be separate from these things, but to not be separate from source, to know that you are not separate from God, then you are choosing to go to this side where that's going to be your template for the rest of your life. And things are going to become easier. Making decisions is going to become more natural and more easy. Your lessons, you'll still get lessons, but they're going to be lighter. They're not going to be so harsh. They're not going to be life changing. I have to start all over types of scenarios. So this is the time for us to decide over these next few years. And the way that you're deciding is what you're doing, what you're entertaining, how you're reacting to things, how you're speaking. And so I wanted to get on here because I felt my guides really wanting me to share this message, but to connect it with my journey here and how I was able to let go and trust myself and trust the process in such chaotic times. Because although it's not the same thing, the things that are happening now and that are going to be coming up over the next 3 or so years, they're not the same thing as me moving here. But it's really that mirror effect that I'm wanting you to see from this video, where it was still a lot of chaos. It was still a lot of I don't know what's happening next. It was still a lot of thinking that I had this together. I had my money that I had saved up. I was coming here with thousands of dollars and having to have all of that broken down to where I know that I always have everything I need. I'm never in lack. I'm never in lack. I'm never not doing what I'm supposed to. I'm never not on the journey that I am supposed to be on. And neither are you. If you're watching this and you're starting to feel some type of like condemning, if you're like, oh my God, I should have been on it and I've been doing this, or maybe this is not coming from the video, but this is how you feel throughout your day, where you feel like you should have done something, or you could have done something different. Let that go. Let that go, because you are choosing to live in the past. You are choosing this life of just continuous confusion, of continuous harsh lessons, and you don't have to do that. This is your time now to make a decision. What side of the scale do you want to be on? What side of earth, when it splits, are you going to be on? Are you going to choose the path of least resistance? Or are you going to be trying to take the driver's seat of every scenario, knowing that you don't know what happens next? Allowing for your ego to be the driving force of your day. Or letting go and allowing for source to be the one. That's how I made it here to Senegal. That is how I am staying here in Senegal and living my life of opulence and abundance, despite of what people have said. How many people told me that I wouldn't make it, that I couldn't do this? How many people that have been in Senegal for 30 years that literally reached out to tell me, you ain't gonna make it? It's not happening. Because I've seen people with thousands of dollars come here and not make it. So you're not making it. It doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you right now that you have the ability to lock in what you want to create. And you don't do this by harsh, long meditation and visualizing all day, because you're creating resistance that way. That's you trying to manifest something. You don't have to try to manifest anything. You are manifesting itself all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All that you need to do is feel the excitement of it. That's the true reason for visualization. It is not for you to actually create exactly what you see. This is a false perception in manifesting. That's not what it's about. It's about you feeling the frequency of that excitement. If you want to travel the world, you set with yourself, you quiet the chatter in your mind, and maybe you have to look at videos first to help you. That's totally perfectly fine. And you feel yourself traveling. You feel yourself in this space, giving yourself the details. Feel yourself giving the clerk your ticket. Feel yourself and you and your children traveling. Look at yourself on the computer booking the ticket with ease. Go through the entire thing. And then after you get done, let it go. That's right. Let the visualization go and keep the frequency of the feeling of excitement and love, of joy that you felt, of joy that you felt as you were doing your traveling through your mental state, keeping that excitement, keeping that joy, and letting go of what you tried to visualize, because it doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work like that. And a lot of times you're creating resistance, and you think that, I mean, I have clients all the time that come to me and are like, I've been doing my affirmations and things. And the thing is that you're creating resistance the whole time because you're thinking that you have to try to create something. You're too powerful for that. You're not separate from source. You are God. So you don't have to try to do anything. All that you have to do is feel the frequency and decide how you want to feel how you want to feel every day, every second. That is my message, you guys. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. If you would like to set up a session with me, visit my website, earthisschool.com, if you would like for me to coach you or take you into a past life. And share this video. If you feel like this video was helpful, even if it just helps one person, that is all that's needed. Until next time, thank you for rolling with me. Peace out.
I see you in the moonlight dancing, yeah. Only need one chance, girl, right here. One night stand, please don't have fear.